So in the last video, we discussed about the different objectives and different learning outcomes that we expect to have in the end of this week. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about the meaning of ICT and how best you can be able to use it and the different tools that we are using in ICT. So by ICT, we mean information and communication technologies, which implies therefore that these are the different technologies and tools that we use when we are actually in the process of training teachers or in the process of teaching teachers on how to integrate technology in their own ways. So these can be in many ways. It could be either you have hardware tools, it could be software tools, but all these bring about changes that you need whenever you want to move from the way you are doing to the ways you want to move. So there are diverse sort of tools that we use whenever we want to create something or to disseminate or to store and manage information. And there are always, it could be either computer-based tools, it could be something like internet, it could be any broadcasting technologies that we use in many ways, or it could also be software tools that we use in different applications. But all these should be having an impact in changing the ways we train or we teach or we help in the process of learning. But when you speak of ICT, it's a broader term that can be used in many ways. It could be used in different sectors as well. It could be in education, it could be using it in banking systems, it could be that you're using it in the industry as well. But again, you can also be using it in the banking system where you have ATM machines and other services that we use today in the business. So right now, I want you to stop here and think about this question that comes and reflect on what you know about these tools and then be able to respond, try to in your notebook. So this is a reflection spot that requires you to pause your video and then reply by writing on your notebook the following question. So what is ICT? And what are the different tools that you possess, ICT tools that you possess today? And for what purpose do you use these ICT tools in your own ways? How do you use these? So please stop the video and watch and complete this activity. So welcome back. So I'm sure that many of you might have written answers like, I use my tool for, maybe you have a smartphone or you have a laptop, and you have said that you may be using it for browsing or chatting or downloading some educational resources. And there could be many other answers as well. But when you speak of ICT in education, we actually have to think of the different tools that we use when we want to improve the ways we teach and learn. And these tools have evolved from classical tools that we have been using those years to the latest modern technologies that we use today. And these classical tools include tools like use of videos in teaching and learning, or use of simulations as well, or even animations or things like tutorials in teaching and learning. So right now we are thinking of using different technologies that are latest, which include technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality, where we are actually trying to bring some textbooks or images to life. Or we think of intelligent tutoring systems or intelligent teaching systems, which can be able to adapt based on the requirement of a student. So you know the student is not performing well, so then with that tutoring system, he can be able to improve based on the performance of that particular student. So there are also other technologies like wearable tools and technologies that are used to see how the student is actually moving and how the student is actually learning, whether he's excited or whether he's motivated, whether he's engaged in the process of learning as well. So all these tools are helping improving the ways we teach today. But there are also some smart learning environments as well, where they can be able to record different activities that are happening whenever your student is actually learning in the process. So yeah, let us look into the different common practices that we have had when you speak of ICT usage in teaching and learning. Then we look into the different effective ways that we can use when we are training teachers or we are teaching. So yeah, I'm sure that many of you would say, I'm having a computer or I'm having a tablet, but I can also be able to use computer and tablet in my classroom. But is that enough to be able to motivate students or to be able to engage students in the process of learning? That would be a question. So for teachers to be able to integrate technology in your own ways of teaching and learning, first of all, you need to understand how effectively you can be able to use that technology in the ways of learning and teaching. Because having a computer in the classroom or having a smartphone in your own does not mean that you know how to use it in teaching and learning. It could be that you're having your computer in your classroom, but it's actually used by students by playing videos or watching the internet, but they're not doing something productive with them. So as a teacher, you need to understand how effective you can be able to use that technology in your own ways of teaching and learning. But you also need to understand the different learning theories behind the practices that you want to use when you are applying it in the classroom. But you have to know the basics on how to select the right tools for the right learning objective that you are setting, so that you have the right outcome that you expected in the process. Now this course will introduce you to all these processes that you need to know when you want to implement this particular type of technology in your classroom. But we have to remember that ICT, the way ICT as ICT in teaching and learning has three phases. First of all, you could say ICT as a subject, so we have to put that separate. And then we could think of ICT as a tool that is used to enable some processes to happen, but it could be taken as ICT as part of a subject as well. So in this context, we are not taking ICT as a subject, we are only taking ICT as a tool or enabler that enables some of the processes, some of the activities in your lesson to be able to be achieved. And in this way, we can be able to enhance the different skills that students need to learn, but at the same time, we can also be able to motivate students, and then to make sure your students are innovative in a way, and also to encourage them to be able to learn other skills that they think they're important for them to be able to learn better. So in many cases, we use ICT tools in different ways when we are teaching normally. And of course, the usage of ICT varies based on the availability of tools that we have in our own practices, and therefore the availability may change the ways we do and change and teach our students. So in the next lecture, therefore, we are going to look on how best you can be able to use technologies, and we are going to look into the different models that we use when we are teaching and learning using technology.